Italian sociologist of religion Professor Massimo Introvigne makes an interesting reference to FECRIS and FPPS in Bitter Winter, the Journal on Religious Freedom and Human Rights. It is also interesting that even after the Marseille Assembly, FECRIS lists among its members the Ukrainian FPPS, Family and Personality Protection Society, listed as dormant because of the war. A leading member of this Ukrainian group is or was Vladimir Nikolaevich Rogatin, who became notorious for launching as early as 2014 through Russian media the ideas that Ukraine was plagued by Satanism, and that the Maidan anti-Russian revolution and the defense of Crimea against the Russian invasion had been infiltrated by Nazis and neo-pagans, both key tools of Russian anti-Ukrainian propaganda. In the latter article, Rogatin was introduced as a correspondent member of the FECRIS. The year 2014 marked the beginning of military conflict in eastern Ukraine. This was preceded by the Revolution of Dignity, which started in 2013, and anti-cultists from Ratsers were among the first who criticized it. Interestingly, the two periods of revolution in Ukraine coincide with an intensification of anti-cult activities in Ukraine, including at the legislative level. Attempts to promote anti-cult legislation in the Ukrainian parliament. Previously in the article Duvevo Order, Control Center of Global Anti-Cultism, Revival of Nazism, we noted that in 2004 and 2013, prior to the Ukrainian revolutions, there were attempts to advance anti-cult legislative proposals in Ukraine. In 2020, Ukrainian scholar and religious expert Dr. Lyudmila Filipovich commented on yet another effort to push a new anti-cult bill in Ukraine. I was asked how I view the proposed anti-cult bill. I have been observing this for more than a year. Such attempts have occurred before, and we managed to fend them off in a timely manner. I remember it was the case in 2004 before the revolution, and in 2013 as well. There is a very clear pattern. As soon as there are any problems, they immediately appeal to this topic, believing it can distract the working people from pressing issues. I perceive this current initiative of the anti-cult bill as yet another manifestation of hybrid warfare. I see here, without being a proponent of conspiracy theories, an obvious hand of Moscow, pardon my language. After all, they have repeatedly tried to push through a similar law there in order to ban all religions except the Moscow Patriarchate. And this initiative is nothing more than clumsy mimicry. News about this anti-cult bill in Ukraine was published in Ukrainian media in July 2020. Coincidence or not, 2 months earlier, on May 29, 2020, a presidential decree was issued in the stronghold of Ratsers, Russia, approving a new version of the strategy for countering extremism in the Russian Federation until 2025. Although the term sect is not mentioned in this document due to the long-standing dictatorship of anti-cultists in Russia, any organizations branded as sects fully fall under the categories of extremism and terrorism, as stated in this decree. This decree was also highlighted by leading anti-cultist vice president of Ratsers, Archpriest Alexander Novopashin, in his article And I Continue My Run.